gonna take I'm gonna take this opportunity. Rampage kind of reminded me of it. I'm gonna take this opportunity to brag just a tiny bit. Since it's D's story hour with DJ, the real DJ. I got you. I was staying in the Kauai Shores area. If you've been there or you've seen any of our pictures, it's right next door to the hotel we stayed at all 3 times that I've been there in 1 year. So it kind of caught attention that it was the 3rd time in a year. And you could get on Facebook and see the kids and all that. And so it was kind of neat to show off. Made a couple hopeful business relationships where I can hopefully sell some of my photography as postcards. Eventually the goal is get back there, keep doing some of the work that was being done, and just live there. That's where you'll find me, but I can't get anywhere near the ocean with an open wound or it'll get reinfected again. So I'll explain all that later. However, part of where the blisters came from is an interesting story. Everybody's like, what were you doing? Were you homeless? Like, what is the story? Well, how can I sit down and tell 2 months worth of a story in a couple of minutes? It's kind of hard to do. So I'll leave it up to you fill in the gaps. I'll connect some dots for y'all. I would hang out at the marketplace, the shop owners. I loved I was known to eavesdrop and not pay for things. So there was I'm gonna snitch on myself a little bit here. There was a smoking bench and it just happened to be right next to one of the raft tours. So every couple hours, the tours would come, to wherever they were going, whether it was kayaking up rivers or kayaking around the coast, whatever tour they were doing at that time. Everybody would kind of stand outside of the van and the guides would tell some history about the place that they were going and what they would be doing before they all loaded up into the van to go to the location. So I was like, well, let me just go to the smoking bench close to that at the right time of day, and I'll be naughty and just sit there and listen without paying for the tour. I didn't ever go anywhere, but you better believe I sat and listened to everything. So I was known as the girl that was always wandering around, watching the free hula shows from the corner, talking at the smoking thing to the fire baton twirlers. So the marketplace was my hangout. But always hanging out there as much as I did for as long as I did. I would see people steal things, people just call them very unholy happenings at the marketplace. I became friends with security. They all knew me, and of course, because they're like, who's this chick always walking around? And I talked to everybody and shared my Facebook and whatnot, made connections. But there was one man, I met so many people that I can't remember all of their names, so I always make kind of names for them. There was this one man, can't remember his name, I feel bad. I always just called him jokingly Grandpa. I said I had a lot of grandpas. I'd be like, oh, there's one of the old timers. I always gravitated toward the old timers because they had the best stories, especially the natives. I'm like, I'm gonna go sit by him. Do tell me some stories growing up here. What was it like? And that's kind of what I did. But there was one old man, I call him Grandpa because I don't know who he is, but he's probably somebody pretty important. I was his silent snitch. If I saw something, let's say I'm walking through a high-end boutique and I just happen to see a handsy tourist or a beach bum or something, I would use my eyeballs and I would look directly at the person and I'd look at the camera and then I'd nod my head and they would know to review that camera. where's Grandpa's little snitch? So this song, PT, I mean, it did help a lot dealing with the pain. I used it for kind of like Rampage when the infection was setting in, because I walked around so much and it would rain. And the difference is this time I went in the winter and they get a heck of a lot more rain than they do in the summer. Because I even asked the doctor, I hiked Nepali coast barefoot with the kids. You can see it on Facebook. Even Dan's feet are barefoot. None of us got an infection. Why did it get so bad? Because we were putting Band-Aids. I do wound care to this. And so he said it sets in. It's so much rain, and they've had so much rain that it's just a little petri dish because it's so warm. It's like if you have a blister from your sandals on the beach, because I got a blister day one. The sand rubs between your toes and leaves a blister. Who hasn't gotten blisters at the beach? Now imagine taking a dirty sponge that's been sitting out in your front yard in the rain for a month. And now just set it on that blister and just let it sit there. Yeah, wet pants, walking around, rubbing on the top of your foot, or wet shoes. So it's inevitable. I guess the hospital was full of people like me. I'm lucky I was able to keep the foot. But a lot of just sitting quite literally for half a day, just with my feet in the bath, Epsom salt, watching TV. So hanging out at friends. But this song was one that I was quite known to play during wound care for pain management, as I was applying new Band-Aids or trying to wash. Yeah, we won't go into that. We won't go into that. But Laine Hardy, everybody. American Idol winner.
About a year and a half ago. We couldn't believe
another inspiration.
He would just ride down the road and go on a home lease, and he would just park, and nobody could hear him. He was in the woods alone.
Usually in the bathroom. Cleaning my toes.
I was coming to town for auditions. I couldn't think about nothing else but that.
I'm too old for American Idol.
I don't want to. I'm a circle just like you, baby. You can do it. I know you can. I'm proud of you, baby. You're welcome.
It's just hard to step out this shell. I'm going to have to push through it because I don't need to be shy on stage. I need to be confident. I'm trying to suppress my shyness.
Grandpa.
Being very confident, but it's not working out too good.
Grandpa's the old man in this song. I'm the hurricane. I'd come around the marketplace. And I often listened to this in my headphones and hummed it walking through the marketplace. So it's Grandpa's song.
I'm from Livingston, Louisiana. And
Deanna.
Hold on. What? Laine Hardy.
Deanna.
Would you say it again just one more time? Laine
Deanna.
Hardy. You didn't say it the first time. You said Laine Hardy. And I didn't. Laine Hardy.
That's how they talk.
That's how they talk.
When it's I'm from Alabama, but I didn't hit the Laine Hardy. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do for fun?
Drive my truck around town.
What are you doing driving your truck around town?
I just burn gas.
Burn gas.
Shoot, wait.
Keep talking. I'm gonna write a country song, boy. So Katie has worn alligator earrings.
Oh, I like it.
Have you ever seen alligator earrings?
I haven't seen alligator earrings, but say alligator.
How many alligators have you seen?
I can't count.
Do you hunt gator?
Sometimes.
How close have you been to a gator?
About a foot, two. Are you out of your mind? That's there.
Have you ever caught an alligator on a top water plug?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever caught an alligator on a top water plug?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, it's bass bait. I'm just checking. I'm checking this boy's. I'm getting this boy's country cred. Please be able to sing.
What are you going to sing for us? I'm singing Hurricane by the band of Heathen. All right, let's hear it.
I was in Hugo. I'm the hurricane. by the land. This is what he said. I was born in the rain on a country train underneath the Louisiana moon. Don't mind the strain of a hurricane. She comes around every June. The high black water, the devil's daughter. She's hot, she's cold, she's mean. Nobody taught her. It takes a lot of water to wash away Nepali.
Thank you, Laine. Thank you very much. Brother Luke, tell me what you're thinking.
I think if you ain't careful, you might win American Idol.
Katie, what are you thinking?
You're in.
My Kippy Kai bandana.
You're in.
Aquaman.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
I'll see you, man. You got fire in those vocal cords. I'll see you in Hollywood. Thank you. All right? That's badass. That's badass.
Don't let a gator hit you in the throat, boy.
He's cute. Cute.
Butterflies on my stomach, my heart started racing. It didn't feel real. Felt like a dream. I always wanted to be on American Idol. And I'm going to Hollywood.
That's right, that's badass.
He's a cutie too. He looks like a young Elvis.
Y'all?
Yeah. And if he had said one for the money, I'd have jumped out of my skin.
Same thing as that, my head. She went like that. This is